This is Art Television.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Savindri Jayawardena. Let's look at the top stories for the day. Prime Minister clarifies international misconceptions about Sri Lanka. Government seeks international assistance to support education. News in detail. In an interview with a foreign TV channel, NDTV, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe pointed out that the country will face a severe food crisis in the coming months. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also added that as many other countries are also facing the food crisis, the only alternative Sri Lanka is presented with is that of storing food for the future.
Well, the protest will go on because how long, I suppose the people at Goldface will have decided how long they are going to carry it out after the 21st Amendment, whether they are going to take the protest elsewhere or they are going to stay there. That's their decision. As far as government is concerned, we are not going to interfere. Okay. If they want to stay, certainly they can stay there and carry out their protest. I feel the people also realize now that we are going to face a shortage of food. Yes. It's really two issues which are combined. One is the lack of fertilizer, which has led to the rice crop being reduced by about 1/3.
Yes. Sri Lanka was always self-sufficient.
That's right, and the other crops. So how do we get over that? We need fertilizer. If we have fertilizer, then from February onwards we can go back to self-sufficiency. So the second issue is that it's coming at a stage when there's a time when there's going to be a global shortage of food. Countries are not exporting food. So we will find from about October till about February. It's really going to be a difficult time for Sri Lanka. Let's hope at least the global food shortage really won't become crisis of large magnitude.
During the interview, the Prime Minister also discussed about the $1.5 billion Chinese credit line which could not be accessed without 3 months of reserves. Prime Minister stressed that the Parliament must investigate the reasoning behind the agreement. The Premier also added that in the meantime further Indian assistance is expected.
No, we are bringing it up with China. When the agreement was given to us, this rule is that you cannot utilize it unless you have 3 months of reserves. So at the time that we signed it, we didn't have 3 months of reserve. So the question is from our end, why did we sign it? Why did we not negotiate further with China and ask them to do away with this? And if it couldn't, we should not have signed it. Instead of which it was signed, and then this the 1.5 billion was shown as part of our reserves.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, country which had zero reserves was showing about 2 billion in reserves.
Right.
Of the 2 billion, I think 1.9 billion could not be utilized. So whether it was just for the purpose of adding on to the reserves, I don't know. It's something that the Parliament must find out why the central bank entered into this agreement. No, Parliament will have to find that out. I would recommend that Parliament find that out. Meantime, we will speak to the Chinese government to see the possibility of amending the agreement. We are counting for help from India. They will be the major country that will be helping us. There will be others, but India has done most of the work for us.
Causes behind the economic downfall of the nation were also discussed during the interview. The Prime Minister was quick to dismiss the notion that Chinese debt is responsible for the current woes. Instead, the Premier stressed that it was an unhealthy reliance on international sovereign bonds that has put the country in a difficult position.
There is the Chinese the debt. But China is and Japan are the two largest creditor nations as far as we are concerned. The issue on China is whether Chinese loans were used on economically viable projects. Well, the issue there is that the projects were decided by Sri Lanka. For instance, Hambantota Harbour and the Mattala airport were pushed by Sri Lanka. Chinese came in there and gave the money when Sri Lanka wanted it. So these really are, did we make the correct assessment? China went along and gave the money, but remember we are the ones with the big issues that we have on China. But otherwise, Belt and Road would be a way of integrating into the Asian system. But our biggest problem is not the loans from creditor nations. It is the loans we have taken on the international market, the ISB, the international sovereign bonds, which really constitute nearly 49 to 50%, because the loans whether we got from China or Japan weren't projects, they were project loans, but we took ISBs and then we used it for so many other purposes. The issue is whether we should have taken so much of ISBs. Well, I think we should have controlled it and put more of our money into developing the sectors of the economy. After the war was over, there was a lot of money available for the north and the east infrastructure, and people went ahead with it. Then we decided that we will go ahead with a construction economy. Added to that, that was only adding on to the burden we had with the ISBs. A lot of the other work was being financed by the ISBs when we were not really, when our budget was out of grace. Only in 2017 we got a surplus on the primary budget, and secondly, our balance of trade was certainly not in our favor.
Yes.
And we were taking ISBs when the balance of trade was against us.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break. Sri Lanka's tourism authorities are now targeting 800,000 to 850,000 tourist arrivals and earnings of $800 million for this year by focusing on key source markets through joint promotional efforts. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority Chairman Priyantha Fernando, while addressing the recent annual general meeting of Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators, stated that the plan can be categorized into three parts, such as short, medium and long term. Prior to the social unrest and political crisis which began in April this year, Sri Lanka was expecting 1.3 million tourist arrivals. During the 5-month period, tourist arrivals reached 378,521. However, arrivals fell to their lowest point in May with just 30,207 arrivals. Chairman Fernando highlighted that communication remains crucial to achieving these targets due to the negative publicity of the country received through international media that have unnecessarily heightened fears on safety in the minds of many prospective tourists. The chairman stressed that he is confident that these targets will be met with a slight stabilization of the situation, while also revealing that Sri Lanka Tourist Development Authority positively responded to 15 key points of the 17-point plan submitted by SLITO to overcome these issues. Addressing the event as a chief guest, Minister of Tourism Harin Fernando asserted that several changes and stakeholder support are required to enable the industry to overcome the challenges it faces. Moving forward, he outlined that future destination promotion and marketing activities would be conducted effectively while utilizing in-house resources and partnering with other stakeholders. Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau planned 3 promotions in Mumbai, Delhi and Bangalore this month as an immediate measure. Further, tourism authorities are also collaborating on a joint promotion campaign. Minister Fernando noted that many airlines have already come forward with proposals to jointly promote Sri Lanka, while Sri Lankan Airlines is yet to come up with such a proposal. Meanwhile, the government announced plans to solve fuel shortages and power interruptions faced by the tourism industry this week following discussions with the Ministry of Power and Energy. Accordingly, the fuel required by tour operators is expected to be provided through Sri Lanka Transport Board depots. In the meantime, Education Minister Dr. Susi Premachandra says the country's education sector will receive financial assistance from the Asian Development Bank specially to be utilized for the purpose of teacher training. Minister Premachandra, speaking virtually to media personnel from the Government Information Department, said that the ministry has to also go before UNESCO for financial assistance, as this will assure dollar inflows to the country.
So originally ADB has agreed, after having so many discussions, to support the education reforms program. But due to COVID-19, as I explained earlier, we couldn't complete entire school days during 2020 and 2021. And as a result, even the reform program also, we had to reschedule. So therefore, there are some unutilized funds allocated for 2022, so we have already asked them to divert these available funds, our unutilized funds allocated for the year 2020 for the training of teachers. So therefore, the amount, I can't say exactly the amount, but it's in dollar terms. It's good these days because exchange rate is very high, so we are getting more rupees. So we will be able to cover up almost all the teachers at least one session, and especially untrained teachers for in-services training. And apart from that, we are looking for some assistance from UNESCO. I am attending a ministerial level conference within next couple of days. So therefore, I'll be able to pursue them and try to get more funds for teacher training programs. That is very important.
In the meantime, Education Minister Dr. Susi Premachandra invites university students to come and discuss with him any issues that affect their education. The minister admitted that some policy decisions by the government affect the whole education system in the country and that he will not refuse their involvement in such a situation.
University students, university students, though we say students, of course, university means they are expecting universal knowledge. So they are there to enter to internet and get all the details from any part of the world, any library, so they can get enough contents and the knowledge. So therefore, they are all the students, the university students are above 18 years of age. They have the voting rights also. So now they are thinking about, after completion of their courses, so they are thinking about their future. So they know what's happening in other parts of the world. So there are some issues limited to our country, but there are some common issues affecting all over the world. All these university students, they know about this situation, but their concern is the future of not only them and future of the country. So they have so many issues apart from their studies. Their studies also affected with some policy decisions. So that is why they are pressing and they open their voice and ask for some solutions. So then I welcome all these issues and all that.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 251.16 points to close at 7,803.61, and the S&P SL20 dropped 108.61 points to close at 2,539.06. The turnover was 1.4 billion rupees and over 73 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. With that, we'll be signing out for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.
State of Business was sponsored by
Stay well connected at home or on the go with SLT Mobitel.
IWS Aviation.